Okay, guys, today we are going to be looking at the Minelab Manticore and is it worth the $1,500 price tag? So what I've done is I've broken this down a little bit to sort of talk about some things about why people might purchase this machine and who might not purchase this machine, as well as looking at some of the specs towards the end of the video. So again, we are going to try to figure out whether we think this machine is worth the $1,500. So first off, let's start with who will buy this machine. So what groups are going to be looking at that? And I've sort of broken this down into a few different groups. Number one, people who are looking to upgrade from the Equinox. So if you've been using an Equinox, then you're familiar with this platform. This machine's not going to be a far stretch for you. You're going to know how to navigate it a little better. And so again, if you've had that Equinox, you've been using it for a while, you've been happy with it, then you're probably going to be looking at the Minelab Manticore. Second group would be the Minelab fans. Anybody that loves Minelab and they buy Minelab machines, and they may have 100 Minelab machines, but they're going to buy every new Minelab machine that comes out. So anybody that's a Minelab fan definitely is going to look at the Minelab Manticore. The Minelab CTX 3030 users, those guys have been using those machines for a while. They're looking at maybe getting into some new technology. They're going to be familiar with this because it has that 2D screen, which is very similar to what they had on the CTX 3030. So again, those guys would be looking at purchasing this machine. Anybody that's a passionate or an experienced metal detectorist is probably going to want this machine. This is going to be a good one. A lot of these guys are going to go after these machines right when they come out, just for the simple fact that it's brand new. Anybody that might be a tester that wants to show this machine and test this machine against other machines. And then possibly some others too that are unhappy with the other offerings at the same price point. So those were the groups that I picked out, and I'm sure you guys can come up with some more, but these are the ones that I thought are going to be the ones that are looking at this machine. So the first question I had about the Minelab Manticore is it really better than the Equinox? Some people have been referring to it as the Equinox 2. So I sort of tried to break down a little bit and talk about it, of some of the improvements that I've seen as far as it being better than the Equinox. And so here's some of the things that I found. Number one, I think the screen is enhanced definitely with the 2D graphics. Because of that 2D graphic screen, I think you're going to see better target ID, and you're going to have a lot better separation capabilities with that screen. So it's going to be a dig or not dig situation that you're going to find yourself in, probably more than you have with other machines in the past, just simply because you've got that screen that you can look at. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully we all don't become screen watchers. I'm more of an audio guy as well, so I like to hear the sounds, but this machine with that graph, I think is really going to help you decide whether you really want to dig that target or not. So I think that's going to be a main selling feature for this machine. I also know that depth is going to be a little better on this machine. They said it was equal to the CTX 3030. But they also said that it was a little deeper than the Equinox. So that was something that I picked up from one of the videos that I had watched. The build quality. Is it better than the Equinox with build quality? Yes, supposedly better. The arm cuff is more flexible and improved. They're saying that they have improved the remote head for no leakage issue. In fact, I heard one of the Minelab reps say the other day that they had 0.01 of all the Minelab Equinoxes that were sold had leakage issues. Now, I find that hard to believe because I know a lot of guys that did have leakage issues. But, I guess if you sell, as many as they sold, that maybe 0.01 is in the right category, but I'm not real sure. So anyway, hopefully they got the leakage issue fixed. No more broken coil ears, which they reinforced it by putting it on the shaft rather than on the coil. So I think that helps. That's going to take a lot of that pressure off of those coil ears. Carbon fiber shaft, so it should make it a little bit lighter. It's collapsible and it's easy to transport. So all of those are big improvements over the Equinox. It's lighter than the Equinox. I think they said it was 2.9 pounds. And the final thing was they kept saying was there was 50% more power. And a lot of people have asked this question about the 50% more power. Is that 50% more power in depth? But according to the engineers, that's not what it means. It's basically they're providing 50% more power to run the coil and the remote head, which is going to be running a lot of different things at the same time. So they need that extra power. And hopefully that helps with separation. That helps with the sensitivity of the coil, making it a little more sensitive. The reactivity of the coil too, hopefully will be improved simply because they are adding more power to the machine. So 50% more power. So the next question I had was, so should I spend $1,500 on this machine? And so these were the yeses, why I would spend $1,500 on this machine. And the answer is yes. If you want a better machine than the Equinox, I believe that this machine will be much better than the Equinox. I don't think it's the Equinox 2. I do think there's going to be a lot of enhancements and improvements that are really going to make this a very attractive machine for Equinox users. Yes, again, if you're a Minelab fan, if you buy Minelab products and that's all you buy is Minelab machines, then yes, you're going to want to spend the $1,500 on this machine. Yes, if you hunt trashy sites, you need separation, you want better target ID than your current machine, then yes, you're definitely going to want this machine. I've already told you the 2D graph is really going to help with that dig and not dig situation. And I think that's going to be good for this machine, especially when you're looking into hunting some of these trashy areas with modern trash and with iron. So I think the separation, the target ID is going to be a lot better than what it had been on previous machines. Again, yes, if you're still hunting with the CTX 3030, which we just talked about, this would be the machine that you would want to go to, simple for the fact that it's newer technology, it's got the same depth, you've got the 2D graph, and you've got multi-frequency. So yes to those guys that were still using the CTX 3030. Yes, if you just love trying new machines and you like trying out the latest technology and metal detectors, then yes, this is going to be the machine that you want to try. And the final yes would be if it fits your budget. If you've got $1,500 and you're into metal detecting, then definitely, yes, Minelab Manticore would be one that you need to look at. So we've talked about the yeses. Let's look at some of the nos. So should I spend $1,500 on this machine? No. If you are happy with what you're using and you don't feel the need to do it, then don't do it. Don't do it because somebody's telling you to do it or somebody's pressuring you to do it or they're telling you, hey, it's the latest and greatest. You're the one who has to make that decision. But if you're happy with your machine, then stick with what you got. No, if you are just a beginner and you're just starting out, no reason to go out and spend $1,500. There are a lot of options out there that are much cheaper that will do a lot of the same things that this machine will do. The Equinox, the Not to Macro Legend, those machines are good machines. And even the machines below those, the Minelab Vanquish, the Nocta Simplex, those are good machines too. So again, I would not spend $1,500 if I was just beginning because you don't know whether you're going to really like the hobby or not to begin with. Plus, too, it's going to take you a while to get through all these settings and things. And all these settings can be so overwhelming if you're not used to using this type of machine. So no, if you're just a beginner. So another no would be if you own the XP Deus 2. I think these machines are going to be comparable to each other. I do see that one machine might do one thing a little better than the other machine. And I see vice versa with XP Deus 2 doing things better than the Minelab Manticore. Minelab Manticore doing things better than the XP Deus 2. I think both of these machines are going to be excellent machines. And I think they're going to be situational machines too. I think there will be some situations that the Manticore is going to perform a little better than the XP Deus 2. but I also see the XP Deus 2 possibly performing a little better than the Minelab Manticore in certain situations. Ideally, I would probably want to own both machines, which hopefully I can do that. So again, I think that if you already have an XP Deus 2, and unless you're wanting to do what probably I'm going to do, and that's test the machine, then I would not say go out and spend $1,500, not unless it's just, you want to test it, compare it, and see for yourself. I would watch the videos. Let somebody like me or somebody like Calabash Digger or somebody else show you what these two machines are going to do against each other. And then you can make a decision. But honestly, I think that both of these machines are going to be very, very comparable to each other. And then finally, know if it doesn't fit your budget. So again, if you don't have $1,500, don't go out and put yourself in debt just to buy a $1,500 metal detector. So the final thing I wanted to end with is, and again, I want you guys to make your decision on whether you want to purchase this machine or not, and you want to spend $1,500. But here are the key specs that I've listed up here off of the Minelab Manticore. And I'm just going to mention a few. You got the operating frequencies, the multi-IQ, you got 5 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, 15 kilohertz, 20, and 40 kilohertz. Now, all of those frequencies are going to allow you to hunt for all sorts of different types of targets. The 5 and the 10 and the 15 are going to cater more to the higher conductive targets. The 20 and the 40 are going to be catering more to the low to mid conductive targets. The other thing that I really like that Minelab did over the Equinox is that they've added those numbers 0 through 99 for the target ID, which again, you guys know that use the Equinox, how it would bunch up in certain numbers where you really couldn't tell the difference because there's so many things ringing up at those numbers. Well, now you've got those things spread out. So I think that's going to help, especially with the target ID. The 2D map we've already talked about, or graph, definitely a big, huge improvement over the Equinox. I think that's going to be the game changer for this machine, is that graph and that 2D ID map on there. The shaft we talked about, the carbon fiber shaft, is collapsible, 24.8 inches, fully collapsed, 56.7. You're going to have a series of coils, I believe, that they're going to introduce, 11-inch. I think they're going to have a smaller coil too that they're going to have, and possibly a bigger coil too. So I think you're going to have 3 coils that you'll be able to select from. I like the idea of the little flashlight on there. I like the idea of the vibrating hand grip. I think that's pretty cool. The keypad backlight, which I really like that feature, especially if you're out hunting late and it gets dark, you can see those keypads and with those things or the buttons lit up. So that would be nice too. Battery charge time, 7 hours. Approximate use time, 9 hours. Of course, you probably get less if you're running some of those more higher intensive programs. Waterproof up to 16 feet, which is an improvement over the Equinox. I think the Equinox was 10. The Minelab Manticore is going to be 16. Again, higher power, simultaneous multi-frequencies, that 50% more power is going to come into play. So that is it. That is what I have come up with on the Minelab Manticore. So we have gone through all the things that I think are reasons why or for or against. Whether you want to spend your $1,500, I'm going to leave that up to you on whether you want to spend that money. But again, hopefully this helps and addresses some of the things that maybe some of you might have had questions about. And if you're looking at the Manticore, I hope to have one eventually. And again, if you hit the super thanks, you can drop a couple of dollars my way to help me out with purchasing one, because I am thinking about getting one to show on my channel. So that would greatly help me. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button. The next time I go live or next time I drop a video, you'll be able to get a notification. So don't forget about that. I hope you guys are having a great and fantastic day, and I will catch you guys on the next adventure. Take care, guys.